Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go.
To start us off, we're going to make a slip knot. Next, we're going to begin working our chains, and the number of chains you'll make will depend on how chunky you want your neck to be. So for example, I wanted my neck to be long enough to be to fold twice, or to fold into two. So if you want if you don't want a foldable one, you can make less chains, but if you want your neck to fold, you can work longer chains. I worked a total of 30 chains. Once you're done working your chains, we're going to start working our rows, and you're going to chain one. And for the next part, all you need to do is to work one single crochet into each stitch. So go into the chain stitch, pull up a loop. You have 2 loops on your hook, pull through 2. Go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and then you have 2 loops on your hook, pull through 2. So that's how you work your single crochet, and you're going to work one single crochet into each stitch until you get to the last chain stitch.
Always sorry, the conclusion. Even though I offer all of the solutions, I wish you loved me like I love you, it's stupid. When I'm alone with you, I never feel lucid. I wish I wasn't struck by Cupid.
So once you're done working your single crochets, this is what you should have. This is what your work should look like. And for the next row, you just want to chain one and turn your work. And then we're going to be working our next row, and to work our next row, you want to look at the V-stitch that you have. So we have our V-stitch there, and you want to work into the back loop of the V-stitch. So this part is the front, the one that's facing is the front, and the other one is going to be the back loop. So you just want to work into the back loop only, not through both loops as we normally would. So working into the back loop will give us a ribbed effect, and that's what we're going to be using for the whole of the top. So for row 2, you're just going to work one single crochet into the back loop of each stitch until the end of the row.
You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free. You know I'm addicted to you, and it's twisted. You've been gifted with the evil voodoo. Got me coming back for more, even when I've been screwed. Dolls full of pins, pierce my heart straight through. I got issues in my head. I like you in my bed, but you keep me on red. Oh, everything is like a test. I better not text or I'll come off desperate.
Once you're done with that, you want to chain one and turn your work. And for row 3, we're going to be repeating the same thing we did with row 2. In fact, from here on out, that's what you're going to be. That's going to be the repeat for the rest of the neck. And you want to work one single crochet into the back loop only for the remainder of the neck.
Always sorry, the conclusion. Even though I offer all of the love me like I love you, it's stupid. When I'm alone with you, I never feel lucid. I wish I wasn't struck by Cupid. I wish when I first saw you, I knew this. When I'm with you, I feel so useless. I feel diluted, my heart's been wounded. Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want.
So go ahead and repeat that for as many rows as you need to make it long enough to go around your neck without stretching.
You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever want to give me wings. You don't ever want to set me free. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby, you'll get sick of being the...
Next, you're going to be working the bottom band, and we'll start off in a similar way where we're working a slip knot and then make chains long enough depending on how thick you want your band to be. I made a total of 13 chains. Chain 1, and then we're going to begin working our first row, and we're going to be working 1 single crochet into each stitch. So it's basically, we're going to basically work it the same way we made our neck, only that the bottom band is going to be longer depending on the size of your underbust.
Dolls full of pins, pierce my heart straight through. I got issues in my head, I like you in my bed, but you keep me on red. Oh, everything is like a test, I better not text or I'll come off desperate. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby, you'll get sick of being...
Chain 1, turn your work, and then we're going to maintain the same thing into the back loop only. Work 1 single crochet into each stitch for the whole length of the band.
So if I play dead, will you regret everything that you did, that you said? I don't think you understand what you're doing, and my heart's black and blue from the bruising. I feel like when I'm with you I'm losing. I feel like you think that this amusing, sitting there gaslighting and confusing. Was it me? Is it me? Am I deluded? I'm the one who's always sorry, the conclusion. Even though I offer all of the solutions, I wish you loved me like I love you, it's stupid. When I'm alone with you I never feel lucid. I wish I wasn't struck by Cupid. I wish when I first saw you I knew this. When I'm with you I feel so useless. I feel diluted, my heart's been wounded. Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want. With you I don't ever feel calm.
To work the middle of the top, we'll start by making chains, and to get the measurement for how many chains you'll need, you just need to get the measurement from point A to point B as shown. Once that is done, you can begin working our rows. So you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch until you get to the end of your chain stitches. So we want to make the center of the top to have this slanted effect, and I'm going to be showing you how we're going to do that. So in order to achieve that, once you've made a single crochet into each stitch until the end of the row for row 1, to begin working row 2, which I'm going to call row A so that I can show you the pattern. So to begin working row 2 stroke row A, you're going to skip the first stitch, and you're still going to be working into the back loop because we want to do to maintain the ribbed stitch effect. So when starting the row, you want to skip the first stitch and then work a single crochet into the back loop only of the second stitch. Go ahead and work one single crochet into each stitch until we get to the end of the row, and into the last stitch we're going to be doing something different as well. So once you get to the end, into that very last stitch, into the back loop only, again we're going to work 2 single crochets into the last stitch. So we're kind of like making an increase. So that's the end of our row 2, and the rows you're going to work in a similar manner. We're going to call them row A just for the ease of seeing the pattern. So chain 1, turn to begin working our row 3, which is also going to be called row B. So for row B, you're just going to be working 1 single crochet into each stitch. Don't skip a stitch, don't make an increase. Just work 1 single crochet into each stitch until you get to the end of the row. Once you get to the end of row 3, you want to chain 1 and turn your work. Our row 4, we're going to work it as our row A, where we're going to skip the first stitch and then begin working single crochets in the second stitch. And then repeat that, work the single crochets until you get to the end of the row, and into the last stitch remember to make an increase.
Issues in my head, I like you in my bed, but you keep me on red. Oh, everything is like a test. I better not text or I'll come off desperate. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed.
That's the end of the row 4. And then row 5 is going to be row B, which we're going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch, into the back loop of each stitch until we get to the end of the row. Go ahead and work that to your desired thickness or width, but you don't want to make it too wide or too narrow. So yeah, you have to find a sweet spot in between. So you're going to make 2 of these. So you should make 2 and have 2 of these when you're done. And the next part of the video will be about joining the parts of the top. So you can leave a long yarn that you're going to use to attach the pieces together, or you can attach new yarn, that's not a problem. And to attach the pieces for the middle part, you want to make sure that you put them alongside each other and make sure that one row is next to the other row, and then you're going to be working your single crochets to join. You can use any type of stitch to join, I just prefer using the single crochet.
You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free. You know I'm addicted to you, and it's twisted. You've been gifted with the evil voodoo. Got me coming back for more, even when I've been screwed. Dolls full of pins, pierce my heart straight through. I got issues in my head. I like you in my bed, but you keep me on red. Oh, everything is like a test. I better not text or I'll come off desperate.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby, you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed, thinking something out of my nightmares, standing right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me?
So if I play dead, will you regret everything?
Now that those two are joined, we're going to be joining the bottom band of the top. So the bottom band should be able to go from one side of the middle part to the other side, or the middle part.
I'm the one who's always sorry, the conclusion. Even though I offer all of the solutions, I wish you loved me like I love you, it's stupid. When I'm alone with you, I never feel lucid. I wish I wasn't struck by.
So you can add or reduce rows so that it matches your middle part, the length. And we're going to be joining using a single crochet, just like we did for the center part.
Play with me like cats and a string. You don't understand the pain it brings.
When you're joining the bottom band, when you get to the center, you'll realize there's going to be the space in between, and for that part, all you need to do is just work one single crochet on top of the rows that are left in between. So you're going to continue working your one single crochet until you get to the point of joining again.
You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free. You know I'm addicted to you, and it's twisted. You've been gifted with the evil voodoo. Got me coming back for more, even when I've been screwed. Dolls full of pins, pierce my heart straight through. I got issues in my head. I like you in my bed, but you keep me on red. Oh, everything is like a test. I better not text or I'll come off desperate.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby, you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed, thinking something out of my nightmares, standing right there. But if I lay down and I play dead
And next, you're going to be extending the bottom band to make the back straps for our top. And so you want to take your yarn and you're going to be attaching it. Work one single crochet into the very first stitch, and then one single crochet into the remaining 12 stitches.
Never really know just what you want. With you I don't ever feel calm. I can feel the sweat inside my palm. Play with me like cats and a string. You don't understand the pain it brings.
Work one single crochet into that joining space and one last single crochet into the end of the middle. part of the top. So in total you should have 15 stitches for the back straps. Chain 1, turn your work. And we're going to be using double crochet to work the back straps. And so we're going to begin the second row by making a decrease. So work your double crochet, but don't finish it, and then go into the next stitch, work your double crochet, pull through 2, and then you have 3 loops, pull through all 3. Then work your normal double crochets into each stitch until you get to the end when you're left with 2 stitches, and then we'll make another decrease.
Issues in my head, I like you in my bed, but you keep me on red. Oh, everything is like a test. I better not text or I'll come off desperate.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed, thinking something out of my nose, standing right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing?
So if I play dead, will you regret everything that you did, that you said? I don't think you understand what you're doing, and my heart's black and blue from the bruise.
For the next row you want to work 1 double crochet into each stitch until you get to the end. You should have 13 stitches by the time you're done with this row.
I'm the one who's always sorry, the conclusion, even though I offer all of the solutions. I wish you loved me like I love you, it's stupid. When I'm alone with you I never feel lucid. I wish I wasn't struck by Cupid. I wish when I first saw you I knew this. When I'm with you I feel so useless, I feel diluted, my heart's been wounded. Silhouettes of you.
For row 4 of the back strap, we're going to begin and end with a decrease stitch.
I can feel the sweat inside my palm. Play with me like cats and a string. You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed, thinking something out of my nose, standing right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me? Then will you get bored of killing me?
Row 5, you're going to work 1 double crochet into each stitch until you get to the end. And you're going to be repeating the decrease and repeat row until you're left with a total of 5 stitches, and then you're going to make repeat rows for the 5 stitches that are long enough for you to tie a knot with.
You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free. You know I'm addicted to you, and it's twisted. You've been gifted with the evil voodoo. Got me coming back for more, even when I've been screwed. Dolls full of pins, pierce my heart straight through. I got issues in my head, I like you in my bed, but you keep me on red. Oh, everything is like a test. I better not text or I'll come off desperate.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed, thinking something out of my nose, standing right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me?
So if I play dead, will you regret everything that you did, that you said? I don't think you understand what you're doing, and my heart's black and blue from the bruising. I feel like when I'm with you I'm losing. I feel like you think that this amusing, sitting there gaslighting and confusing. Was it me? Is it me? Am I deluded? I'm the one who's always sorry, the conclusion, even though I offer love me like I love you, it's stupid. When I'm alone with you, I never feel lucid. I wish I wasn't struck by Cupid. I wish when I first saw you, I knew this. When I'm with you, I feel so useless. I feel diluted, my heart's been wounded. Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know what you want. With you, I don't ever feel calm. I can feel the sweat inside my palm. Play with me like cats and a string. You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free.
But if I lay down and I play
The final bit of the top, you'll join the neck to the center of the top, and you can mark with stitch markers to find the center, and then join the two using single crochet or your preferred joining stitch. End up adding straps to the back of the neck just so that it was easier for me to wear, but you can use any type of enclosure